day. So listen to Office Hours with me, Arthur Brooks, on Spotify, and start building the life that you really want.
Hello, hello. Sorry, I forgot the mic. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully, you all are having a wonderful day. So, if you're watching this past date, which, if you're watching this past date, welcome to the video. Stream video. It is what it is. But yeah, welcome. Hopefully, you're having a wonderful day. Once again, today we are strictly playing Hulk in Marvel Rivals. And that's, yeah, I really just want to, if you check the description, which if you read that, if not, I'll just sum it up real quick. Really just trying to give people an idea of like how good, at least the best that I could play Hulk. Always giving 110%. So just kind of giving an idea. Hopefully this gives you an idea of Hulk in his current state at the time of this recording or the stream, which is it is January 21st of 2026. So if they nerf him in the future, yeah, he might not be as meta, but in his current state, he's definitely a really top pick, I would say. And this is just coming from someone who has played a lot of Hulk and kind of just done my best to really understand his kit and how it fits in a team. And yeah, I say he's probably one of the best things to learn. So yeah. But anyway, guys, you'll have to let me know what you think. Is Hulk for you? If not, I totally understand. He's not for everybody. He's definitely he's a different tank. He's different, but so rewarding if you really learn him and take advantage of his whole kit. So yeah, with that said, guys, let's go ahead and hop into the stream. We're playing some placement matches right now. I've done 3 out of 10 at the time of this starting. So we got 7 more to go.
The Joe Rogan Experience.
Train by day, Joe Rogan podcast by night, all day.
That's wild.
I went in. I was living at the time. I went in and I'm sitting in the waiting room, and it was like on a Sunday because I was like, I'm only in town for it, and Stan was like, I'll come into the office. I'm like, thank you so much. I had to have some filling or something, whatever I needed. It's a kind of an emergency. So I'm sitting in the thing, and I'm not getting called in, but the ladies just no, there's not.
We're also listening to the Joe Rogan podcast while we play.
No, the first thing I hear
So
is,
it's Ben Affleck and Matt Damon.
and I'm like, what is happening? And
New
then it's in the
episode,
other room, and Stan comes in with Max, and he goes, sorry, he goes, I'll be with you soon. He goes, I got Hunter in the chair. And he goes back, and I listen to Hunter Thompson swear for like 15 minutes. I'm like, this is amazing. And then Stan goes, okay, come on back. And Hunter's kind of getting out. And he goes, oh, you're sitting down with this guy? He's a fucking assassin. And then he goes, and he's got this jug of clear fluid. And he's like, "You're gonna need a sip of this," and I'm like, "Oh my God, this is fucking Hunter S. Thompson's moonshine." I'm like, "This is
ethyl alcohol.
I'm like, this is fucking amazing."
2000s
I'm like, I'm talking to this dude for 30 seconds and I'm getting a sip. And it was like 10 in the morning on a Sunday. Yeah. He was halfway
Was it
through the
just pure
jug,
burn,
pure
like catch
fucking
fire,
like, yeah.
fucking-
It
Where
was
was this?
in Beverly Hills. Yeah. Brentwood. Yeah, Brentwood was Stan's office. Yeah.
Oh my God, that's amazing.
It really was amazing. It was, and so I had probably a total of 7 minutes, with him, and it was like I could not have been a better 7 minutes.
That's incredible. I went to the Woody Creek Tavern just to go there because I know he used to go there.
Yeah.
And like you could like feel him in the building. There's all the pictures on the walls. It's a cool little place.
Those books, fucking Hell's Angels and Fear and Loathing, it's some of the best writing. I just fucking he really had his own voice. Rum Diary, spectacular.
I'm not
It was,
judging.
really descriptive and punchy and fucking interesting and fucked up. And he also just lived that life. It was like
Fear and Loathing changed my life. Like reading that book was like, what the fuck?
Sorry guys,
What is this guy doing?
you don't know what I'm doing.
There's grown
My back
men
is
out
just
there,
killing me right now.
balding grown men with spectacles running around with
think
a.
there's lizards in the fucking lounge. Like, you guys hallucinating. And
He's got a day trip bag filled with acid. Like, what the fuck are you doing, man?
and it's great shit. It's like you fucking feel like you're on the adventure with him,
Yeah. No, it's interesting to watch the evolution of his writing too. I read Hell's Angels and it's like very different. But
Yeah, it's early. He was kind of restrained, and he was quite for that. I think it was edgy, sort of for the time.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you're gonna get beaten, Shane whipped, and stomped by the Yankees, and that was really edgy. By the time they got into what was Fear and Loathing, '72 or something like that, he was just
yeah, he was
out
gone.
there.
He found his voice.
He did find.
He
his
was
voice.
supposed to be covering a race for Sports Illustrated. That's a Fear and Loathing in
I
Las
read a
Vegas
book
came from.
about I fucking lost my mind. Great, it's great, Hunter.
We'll take it.
Well, hey, it's very nice to meet you guys. I've met you before, but
Yeah,
it's very nice
pleasure,
to meet you.
man. Thank you very
And,
much. Wow.
I love the fucking movie. The Rip is
Thank you.
great.
Thanks. Thank
It's really good. It's so original and it's so different and it's it's like I love those kind of movies, but it's not like any one that I've ever seen before. Really solid movie.
Thanks, dude.
Thank you.
It was awesome.
So much better than you hating it and us having it.
Well, the interviews where they're like, so I saw the movie. Anyway, how you guys been?
We've had a lot of those the press junkets where they come in and the first thing that the movie sucks if they don't ask you anything about the movie. They come in and go, so how you been?
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit, this is gonna be bad.
Is it weird, like the transformation of the film industry seems to like a lot of it is moving towards these big streaming movies now?
Absolutely. I mean, look, it's because where most people have gone to watch them.
Yeah.
Like, used to be the only place you'd go see movies in the 40s. Like, every American went to the movie every week, basically. But it was because it was that or watch the cows walk by, That was the only... And then TV comes around, it's little, and you see these little serials. But
No, we're not paying
what
attention.
happened was now, this is why it totally changed the whole thing, because you got 300 million people, 330, whatever it is, watching, Netflix. And it's a lot harder to get people going to the movie. There's also-
Tried to bubble
there's also-
our,
There's also my kids, it's hard to get them excited about a movie.
Yeah.
Because that's what we had. I mean,
Yeah,
every
that was
movie
our.
came out.
Our teen years were just every weekend we're at the movies.
Yeah.
There's just no question about it. You were going to go and usually not get into one because there were too many people, and then you just see what else is playing and go to that.
Well, it seems like it was kind of slipping away because so many people were watching streaming already, and then COVID came around and everyone was locked down and no one was going to the movie theater, and then it just set
I
in.
had this drama that was coming out right when COVID hit. I really liked the movie, performance movies. An alcoholic guy whose kid dies and becomes an alcoholic. It's a dark movie, but I loved it, and I could tell we're fucked. No one's gonna go to see it to theater, see this movie. And it wasn't even that streaming really blew up, of course during COVID. So look, they rushed it onto streaming. People actually saw it. I was like, well, all things being equal, I'd like people to see it, And it's not like my dad had an 11-inch black and white TV, and that's what was TV doing. It's $200. You got a fucking 65-inch flat screen, and good sound. So of course people are willing to. And then streamers also started making great shows. You have Adolescence. I don't know if you saw.
it was just a battle. I don't know what I was doing.
I haven't seen Adolescence.
It's unbelievable.
What is it?
Oh my god. I don't want to spoil too much of it. It's only 4 episodes.
They're all one shot.
They're all one shot. Each episode is one entire shot.
Whoa.
So the cast, I talked to the director about it. The cast took, I think, a week to rehearse each one, and
did,
then
like-
a week to shoot it, and so they do it twice a day. It was the full hour. They would choreograph
It's a
the
feat unto
entire
itself.
thing. Yeah, it's really.
And then the acting is
But
great.
I mean, just dismiss that. Even you could even call it a gimmick. It's not in this case, but the performances and the writing and what it's about, it's as good as anything you'll see.
I feel like we need to kind of play defense, especially with this.
You know, you have like it's not even an anomaly. There's Baby Rangers, there's fucking Succession, there's Game
Ozark.
of Thrones, there's Ozarks. You know, it's just like, okay, well, they're doing great shit out there. It's not like this sort of implied thing before was like, yeah, well, TV's not as good, not as interesting. It's a serial.
When we started, it was there was a different. I mean,
was a
like
stigma,
George Clooney, for instance. Like there was a big thing. You know, he very famously, became this superstar on ER. That show, 40 million people a week were watching that show. It was the biggest thing, right? Because there were only a few channels to tune into, and that show was the biggest one. And George never renegotiated his contract. He wanted to work in movies, and it was like, you can't go from TV to movie. It's very hard.
you're a
Very
TV
few
actor.
people
You
can
gotta
do it.
fucking- yeah.
And he really strategically and kind of patiently, like, he joked that on the last episode he was on, Anthony Edwards, his co-star, was making $1 million for the episode, and he was making, 20 grand or whatever his deal was. Like, he could have renegotiated, but he would have had to
The
give
point
more
was
years.
that's how bad he wanted to get off TV
Right.
and do movies.
That's how bad he wanted to get off of the biggest TV show in the world, because there was such a big kind of level change between features and TV.
Well, it was a giant difference in quality. It was also the breaking it up for commercials.
Right.
It was just a different
it
experience.
couldn't be, there's all these rules. So like, you
Yeah.
can't say this, you can't do that, you can't swear, no, can't have violence and all the things people want to see in movies, and also it wasn't as interesting. And then now that's like tethered to these schedules and all this stuff, whereas you get this shit like you don't have a schedule and you can take a bunch of risks. So, and that started happening, and then it was kind of like, well, this is just as good, if not better, than what's in the movies. And
Well,
so that
then
just kinda
movies
went
started
away.
to move towards more IP, and
Right, because it was hard to get people to come to the movies. Everyone got scared and thought, well, it has to be a sequel or a superhero movie.
And
to
so
justify
an
being a
interesting little movie, kind of in the 90s when we kind of came onto the scene, there were a lot of really good independent movies that were being made. There was it was a really great time to be making movies. People were making daring movies, and then everyone just got way more conservative because it's huge. Like, the business is so different theatrically and streaming, because to put out a movie theatrically, you have to put so much more money behind it to publicize. Like, you're trying to get
You're basically
everybody.
spending about what the budget was to make it to advertise.
Because
and
you
get
got- you-
50% of the theatrical.
Yeah, because you split it with the movie house, right? The
So
exhibitor.
a $25 million movie to break even, you got to make $100 million.
And so, and you got to get everybody to not only know about the movie, but to show up like that Friday night, like that specific time, for that specific movie, and so to cut through all the noise that people are contending with, and
Well, that just becomes about risk, and nobody wants to take the risk, so they don't want to make something new because it's such an investment. We're going to lose our fucking money, and the streamers have stepped into that. And like, no, you didn't have to necessarily have a star. You could try something more interesting, or it didn't have to be a superhero movie, whatever it was. And also, I think it's like, frankly, like people my age, like, it's, first of all, it's expensive, right? You take your whole family, it's $100. You're on a streaming service, $20 a month. You can watch all you want. So you can't be cavalier about, like, you're just going to price it however the fuck you want and expect everyone to, like, be indifferent to that. And then, also, the idea of, like, for me, there's a lot of stuff, I make that decision. Like, do I want to see The Odyssey on a big screen? Fucking def. I went to the theater to just watch the trailer for that movie. And, did I, at one battle after another, I wanted to go see in the theater. But there's movies and people that I really like and respect where, yeah, and I got a good system and shit, but I'm like, look, I'll watch it and I might get tired. I won't pause it and take a piss, or the kids, whatever it is. That's conducive to my lifestyle, and so
And most people's
I even
lifestyle.
see few. I think most people are, yeah.
But there is the experience of seeing it with a bunch of other people. You see an
100%.
awesome movie with a bunch of other people. It's like a shared experience.
100%.
great.
And I
And
always
you have
liken
people's
it to
attention.
way more attention. Like when I went to see One Battle on IMAX, like, that feeling. There's nothing like that feeling. I took, 2 of my kids and 2 of my nephews and my wife, and we all went. And it was like, and you're in with, a bunch of strangers, the people in your community, and you're having this experience together. I always say it's more like going to church. Like, you show up at an appointed time. You know what I mean? It doesn't
Yes.
wait for you. It's
I should've jumped
it
out earlier.
versus the
Well, I could've jumped out behind me, and I
experience of
just
watching
didn't.
At home, I think. you know, you're watching in a room, the lights are on, other shit's going on, the kids are running around, the dogs are running around, whatever it is. You know what I mean? It's just a very different level of attention that you're willing to, or that you're able to give to it. And that has a big effect. And it also ends up having an effect, or is starting to have an effect on how you make movies. Like, for instance, Netflix, you know, the standard way to make an action movie that we
I don't know why I didn't bubble the rocket. I should have bubbled him.
set pieces, one in the first act, one in
That
the
was kinda
second, one in
sad.
the third, and you know, they kind of ramp up, and the big one with all the explosions, and you spend most of your money on that one in the third act. That's your kind of finale. And now they're like, can we get a big one in the first 5 minutes to get somebody? You know, we want people to stay tuned in, and you know, it wouldn't be terrible if you reiterated the plot 3 or 4 times in the dialogue, because people are on their phones while they're watching. You know what I mean?
Oh, no.
And so then it's going to really start to infringe on how we're telling the
But
story.
then you look at Adolescence, it didn't do any of
It
that.
didn't do
shit.
any of
And
that.
it's
Yeah,
fucking
yeah.
great. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it's dark, well, too. It's tragic and intense. It's like a guy who finds out his kid's accused of murder, and it's like, you know, and there's long shots in the back of their head. They get in the car, nobody says anything. I think there are those. Look, these
I wish that
ideas,
were.
like,
that
you do
feels
this
more
trick,
like the
do that trick,
exception.
you know?
It's so masterfully made that it feels a little more like the exception. I hope it's not.
My
I mean,
feeling is just that it demonstrates that you don't need to do any of that shit to get people. You know what I mean? Like, and I think, you know, yes. you know,
Just wasn't paying attention.
talent,
But we had Storm.
the first 5 minutes, because you know what I mean. Like, it's a common trick that you would go like, let me grab them and get them invested in. It's like the movies that start with the hero hanging from the cliff, and
Bro, they're
and
not in a position to be doing that.
And tell you how they got there. You know, I always feel like complaining about it makes me feel like one of these guys was like, when I was a boy, like, you always want to freeze the culture at the time when you, I don't know, felt more like, you know, we didn't used to have these phones. The fuck are all these phones? And everybody's looking at their phone. I get it. Yes, it's true. Also, it's like some.
Oh, I didn't have my bubble. I was gonna bubble.
Look at TikTok. They want, you know, they're gonna do that.
Oh, wait, they
What
win
you can
this.
do is
They should have won this.
Make shit the best you can. Make it really good, and you know, people can still go to the movies. Not like you have this idea that's like an
They won it.
existential-
Wow.
Everything that comes along is gonna destroy everything. Instead of like,
We should have won that.
what history suggests is that there's like marginal encroachments, things shift. Yep, as television came along, there was less theater going, and that's still gonna happen. And people are still gonna go to the movies because of what you said. Like, it feels like a cool thing to do. I'm gonna go see The Odyssey, I guarantee you, in a theater, you know, no matter what. Fewer of them, and you could argue that's because I have more choice or whatever it is. It's hard to fight supply and demand. That's the trick, right? If people want to watch a bunch of stuff at home because they invested in TVs and cost us money, they will. So, okay. But the upside of that is, like, I can try to do something, hopefully, that's like, that actually doesn't need to, you know, have the most urgency to get you to come to the theater with your family. That's a little more experimental or risk taking or whatever in that way.
Well, you gotta adapt. I mean, there's no way you're gonna change people's viewing habits now.
No.
I mean, what percentage of Netflix is actually watched on phones? It's got to be pretty high, which is insane.
Yeah.
Even watching on a laptop for me is
Yeah.
kind of sucks. You
Yeah,
know?
it sucks. Yeah.
That's a joke that I like to make with every director I work with. Like, when they're really puzzling over a shot or really grinding out something, I go, you know, it's not going to look as good on the phone. When just everyone gets angry.
Usually
when
takes
you
the
say
wind
that.
out of their fucking sails, you know. No, that's gonna look great. This fucking bigs, but keep fucking around and lighting that. We'll also, you know.
It is weird though, the concern for the algorithm, like making sure that people watch. Like, look, we've got data that shows within the first 5 minutes when this happens, they tune out. So it's like my buddy Tony Hinchcliffe. You know, he's got Kill Tony.
That was a good-
Now it's
that was a
on
good
Netflix,
bubble.
So they're giving him notes.
I'm
now.
so happy I got that
And
bubble
they
off on our
give him,
BP.
Like,
Yeah.
But they're not telling him what to do. But they're saying like, this is when people are tuning out. And so let's, you know, just so you have that data, now decide how you want to edit things. It's like, oh.
Yeah, which
Slippery
is
slope.
It is because the it's like the bar for walking out of a movie theater is a lot higher than for just changing the channel.
Right.
Right. And oftentimes, you know, directors will want to make a movie that is challenging and upsetting.
Focus the
And I
cloak,
remember,
bro.
you know, Terry Kinney, my friend, great actor, and he told me about the experience of seeing Taxi Driver in New York for the first time, right, in '76 or whenever it came out.
Oh, I'm lagging.
what I remember is not only the movie, but I remember standing at the back because I got up out of my seat and I went, but I couldn't bring myself to leave because I was so invested. But because I was standing at the back by the door watching the movie, and he goes, and there were 2 other people standing next to me who were doing the same thing.
Just because they were disturbed?
Because the movie was disturbing them so much.
Wow.
But which is not a bad thing, right? So had that been on Netflix or Amazon, you know, if somebody says, "Oh, I'm disturbed," and they change the channel, like that doesn't mean you shouldn't make Taxi Driver.
I thought we were still kind of all right here.
To a place is much greater.
Yeah, and one of the values of that is that you could look at movies from the 70s. The first act is 25, 30 minutes.
Right.
You know, The Verdict, for instance, is a great movie. It takes a long time to
Look
get
at the
going.
Deer Hunter.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
And you're right, like what you're saying, the threshold for walkout is real, like any scene, like, I want to watch Naked and Alone, like whatever, you know, you flip the fucking, so you are battling that, and you know,
I watched
RVP really showed up for this.
Steve McQueen,
Yeah.
and there's no one talks for like 5 minutes. There's no talking. It's just a bunch of stuff getting done.
Yeah.
Just a bunch of people doing things, and it's like, wow, you could make it different. You could let it air out back then.
Yeah.
It was. They had a different respect for what it was. Like you were telling a story, and you're gonna let it air out.
Well, they also knew where their audience was. They
Yeah.
were in a theater that they.
part of it was they wanted to come there. I mean, this great story I like is the first time they debuted a movie, guys,
Oh, yeah.
with a projector in a room full of people. It was a movie of a train pulling into the station. So they put the reel up and they did demonstrate and they showed the people, and everybody missed it because they were turned around staring at the projector. 'Cause they never fucking seen anything like that. You know, so it's like if the technology's upstaging, but like you come for an event, come for a thing. We're all going to be here. That's part of it. It's I don't know. There's competing arguments. So you can think, well, what do you get to do? And some people just go ahead and fuck it. Like if Jim Cameron's Avatar, I'm going to make my 3-hour movie, and people are going to come, and great. You know what I mean? And people say, oh well, you can't have a 3-hour movie. And he's like, well, I'm Jim Cameron, and I've actually got the #1 and 2 and movies. I think I got this. He goes ahead and does it. You know, this history's full of people who got told a bunch of conventional wisdom and were like, yeah, but we're going to do something different. And as it turns out, like that's actually what people want too. Is not for you to just repeat the other shit that's been done before and that worked before.
This episode is brought to you by Visible. Have you heard of Visible? It's the one-line wireless with unlimited data and hotspot for $25 a month.
So I actually need to go use the restroom. I'll be right back.
All on Verizon's 5G network. It's the ultimate wireless hack to save money and still get great coverage and a reliable connection. Got a resolution to save? Kick 2026 off right now for a limited time. New members can get the Visible plan for just $19 a month for the first 26 months. Ring in the new year with code SWITCH26. Share the savings with a deal that's too good to keep quiet. Switch now at visible.com. Terms apply. Limited time offer subject to change. See visible.com for plan features and network management details. One of the things I read that I thought was really fucking cool is you guys set it up so that if this film performs well, the entire crew gets bonuses.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, hopefully it's successful.
I think
it's
get
gonna
shit
be-
else if it doesn't.
It's a
not
fucking
popular.
great movie, man. It's a fun movie.
But it's good, but it's not like, you know, fucking we're saints or philanthropists. Like it's completely self-serving, in my opinion. Because in order to do the job well, everybody who's working on it has to be really invested and give a shit about the result, not their paycheck only. And sometimes you're with a crew that just happen to be great anyway, even though they don't really have to care about it, and they do. And what we saw was like, that makes your movie better. And then there's just the thing of like the business is changing. You see these strikes and work stoppage and all these fucking questions. In order for this, I think, to survive and to be, you know, a good middle class fucking artist, you know, artisanal craftsman job, we got 1,200 people that, you know, need to have reliable jobs. And part of the negotiations is always like, yeah, but we're all going to get fucked. Like, we have no participation. Like, used to working on movies, and it happens to actors too, where you go, oh, we all invested, it was really hard, and we fucking put in the extra effort. Somebody else walked away with all the success. And, you know, my theory was with Matt was we were like, how about where, let's say, okay, it's just fairness, right? If this thing actually blows up and does really well, you should benefit from that. People have been, you know, kind of given sort of promises of participation back and haven't come true. So this is like everyone got their rates, everyone got their hourly, no one cut anything. This is just an exercise in actually proving that it's not bullshit. That if there's success, you'll get some extra. A little success, a little extra. A little more, a little more.
But
And
also,
that.
like you said, because it's fair, you know,
It's fair.
and in success, the people who made the movie should, you know, should participate in that. And also with this one, which was important to us, there's a, you know, they delineate above the line and below the line, right? Like above the line being like us, the
Basically,
director
like
and
the
producers,
cast and
and below the line being kind of the more blue collar side of our industry, and
It was like painters, greensmen, camera people,
Yeah.
everybody else with drivers.
And so we just wanted, we and believe, like when we started this company, we were like, look, you know, we know who makes our movie better, right? It's not, it's like this has kind of been mispriced the whole time. Like the economics have been wrong. Like when there's a big success, everybody who had a hand on it.
Because you see a great director that people rely on, or an actor that's considered bankable, they're all going, okay, I need all my people.
Yeah, every
Because
great
they're,
director
you know-
I've worked with, and I've worked with a lot of them, they have their regular
guys.
crew members
Right.
that are ride or die with these people.
Right.
Because I mean, and you said it to me when we were starting the company. You were like, you know, those department heads, you know, who are each handling like, you know, cinematography, you know, your camera department, you know, your grip department, your electric, like all those people are ultimately the people who make the movie good. Like they make a demonstrable difference in how good your movie is.
And imagine once you get a good flow with a great crew,
Exactly.
like you got the band.
Yeah.
Like there's no need to bring in new band members. Let's like do this again.
Yeah. And because then like you have the situation where they all are filmmakers too. Everybody knows what we're trying to do. So like then what makes it, you know, you're trying to get something special, something interesting, something fucking magical in some moment. You have to, like, if people are tight or they've been out of shape or, you know, it fucks up the environment, people aren't relaxed, actors can't do their best work. And that does make a difference between something that's good, average, great, whatever. And I think that if you say, like, you know, it makes cognitive sense to people, but if you look around, like, let's say Colin Anderson, camera operator,
Yeah,
right?
he's
Not the
unbelievable.
cinematographer, but I would tell you, I think he's the greatest camera operator there is in Hollywood. If you want evidence of that, he shot Marty Supreme. He was a camera operator on one battle after another. You know, if you look at his resume, you're like, oh, that's interesting. These are all fucking great movies. Now, is he personally responsible for all of it? No, because it's a collaborative medium. There is no, like, you can be a painter and paint by yourself. You can be a novelist and do that, sing, write music. You can't do this job alone. Like, there are a lot of people that go into it. You know, even when I realized like Matt was the lead in the last movie I did.
Oh, I didn't change my thing from streaming to playing.
He's so fucking good.
Or talking to playing.
Your movie, who also goes up, does his job, is friendly, isn't fucking around or playing games or being weird. Like that sets this tone. Everybody else kind of goes, okay, well, what's
Sorry, guys. That was
I
that was so on my
take it
part.
seriously, but nobody's gonna be a dick. We're all gonna do our job. We're not gonna take ourselves too seriously, but we're gonna take the job really seriously. And immediately, everybody kind of snaps into that. That trickle-down effect goes across the whole thing. And I think the best thing that I know how to do as a director is just create an environment where people feel.
Yo, what
they
was
show up,
that?
people
Dude
like
said
me,
he was.
they're rooting for me. I can fucking embarrass myself and be bad.
Dude said he was 5, and he just said, "What kind of war crimes do you want me to commit near the nearest preschool?" Hello?
They're gonna go, oh, that's a good idea.
Someone in
You know
there?
what I mean?
Like,
And
bro, what are we talking
that's
about?
kind of the trick, in my view. And then you're depending on the gifts of all these people, every single one of them. You know, guys was, you know, some woman's assistant, prop master is coming up with like the stuff that, you know, Phil Knight found. You know, his waffle from the shoe. They found it on eBay. Like that's an extra mile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And if you make people feel like it matters and you give a shit and that they're contributing and oh cool, let's do a close up of that. That's really fucking cool. They'll die for you. They'll go all the way, and it changes the whole.
And
dynamic.
if you bonus them.
yeah, it doesn't hurt either.
You know, it's not just all. You know, it's
Oh.
It's not just rah, rah,
there's an
thanks a
actual
lot.
like codified bonus structure to say like
This is
you
the way
know.
of recognizing that shit. Right?
Yeah.
It's like in your paycheck too. It's not
That's
just
very
your
real.
shit.
And
Yeah.
you guys developed this? Is this something that you enjoy? Like, kudos to
Oh,
you
I was
for
gonna
embracing
ult.
this, first of all.
He went extermination on us.
And having that attitude, because it's so important and so easy for big movie stars.
These guys are
to
holding
just
it pretty
think of
well, yeah?
themselves in their
Well, we're
own career.
communists, Jeff. We're from Cambridge.
These guys are holding it really well.
no, but each deal has had this kind of. Each deal that we've done so far has been different because we've made deals with different studios and platforms and stuff like that.
And it just involved us basically retroactively going, hey, we came in under.
I
we
was
did a
kinda
good job,
old. I was kinda jumping in old,
Here you
but I-
go. This is the first time that we were able to.
I feel like we kinda just
actually
gave
do a
up.
Schedule where it's like Because, and by the way, we wouldn't have been able to do that without Netflix going, okay, cool. You think you can make this work? Is this? We'll give you a shot. Otherwise, we wouldn't have been able to do it. So we had to say, look, we're not asking you to take a cut, but if we can, and we can tell you, if the movie is watched as many hours in the first 90 days as like this movie A that you all know what it is, then that's 20% of your salary, let's say, right? I mean, you should take a hit. So it's like, yeah, you make more money, your bonus is more. It's all just pegged to where you're at, just because that was the most fair idea we'd come up with.
So they gave us like 5 different levels, right? Like the first couple hopefully we can hit, and maybe the third maybe we get, and then it got to like the fifth
It's kind
level.
of like single, double, triple, home run.
Home run, fucking grand slam.
Yeah.
The fifth one was 110% of all Netflix viewers, or something like that. So it's everybody who has a Netflix account watches it, and then like 10% of them watch it again. And we were like,
No, it's like K-pop Demon. If it's as big as K-pop
but that's
Demon
what
Hunters,
happened.
right?
We were laughing, and then K-pop Demon Hunters came along and actually did that. That's the first movie that's ever.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of autistic kids watch that over and over and over.
I
and
haven't
over
seen.
and over again.
I haven't seen it, but I mean, somebody's watching it over and over.
Oh
and over
yeah,
again.
so, dude, people love it.
I mean, it's the value of it is that because before this, one of the big things, and everybody's fighting over in the strike is like, well, share your shit. There used to be residuals, right? The residuals, and it was only for SAG and a few other things, but it was like, and you knew if you had a line in the movie, and the movie did a certain number, like at the box office, well, you're going to get another $2,000. And that was a big deal. You get that check in the mail, and like, okay, I can pay the rent for another month. I can do that shit. But then there was this like sort of what constitutes.
Yo, why are we leaving?
The streamer doesn't actually sell another ticket if you watch that movie, right? Right. It's hard to tell.
I know, we kinda just gave up.
This service, right? So for a while, everyone's looking at the first.
Everybody
thing
kinda
you
just
look
gave
at
up.
when you subscribe to somebody. Okay, you're gonna go buy Hulu. What did you watch first? The Bear. Well, The Bear must be creating value for us, but you can't assign a strict numerical value to it because it's like a box office where you can go, well,
We made this
Oppenheimer is
much,
$1 billion or whatever, and that's another $1 billion on our balance sheet because streamers are doing a subscription model. It's whether it's like a gym membership where in the fucking first of the year you're like, I'm gonna work out again, I'm gonna buy that annual membership, and you go twice, or you go to the gym every single day, you're paying the same amount.
Also, the weird thing is with streaming, when you're opening up Netflix, it's not like you're going to the movie theater and there's 7 movies playing. You're opening up Netflix and you have an unlimited option list. It's insane how much content. You could waste the rest of your life sitting in front of Netflix and then die and have, millions of hours more to listen to or watch.
Like,
You're
bro,
right. Like when we started researching that and built our own data to poll people and examine all this stuff, it's actually all the library stuff that people are watching all the time. If you said like the new stuff is theoretically what keeps people with the subscription or whatever, but in terms of like volume of time, I think
probably should stay alive right there. That was kind of
it
toxic,
looks
but
a lot like
I wouldn't say
watch,
toxic.
Orange is the New Black and the Epstein
Just,
Clips and the old Seinfeld and Friends.
kinda lame.
What Cupcake Wars or that's what's because Americans watch 6 hours of TV a day.
That's crazy. And then the other 6 hours they're on their phone. Like, how does anything get done? How does anything get done? When you started to make this film, like what is the process? Like, how did you guys agree on it? Like, did you guys have it written first
Was
Joe Carnahan wrote it.
Joe. So
before you knew you were going to Netflix with it?
Yeah.
Okay.
He came to us with the script, and we've known Joe for he did a movie. His first movie was called Narc. I don't know if you ever saw it.
Yeah.
It's terrific.
No, it's a great
Yeah.
movie, yeah.
So we met him way back 25 years
I
ago.
thought he was gonna eat that.
Like that. And so we met him back then, and Ben did a movie of his
The
in
Smoking Aces.
04, I think, and so we've known Joe for a really long time and kind of been in touch with him over the years, and he just sent this to us and said, and we read it and we thought it was great and bought it for the company, and then we started talking to Joe about how he saw it, how he wanted to do it, and he suggested that we actually do the movie, and we were like, yeah, why don't we do it? It seems
Basically, because we like it. And
We liked
part of
it,
it's like
yeah.
we're not trying to just do our movies. We want to be, doing movies with all these the people that we like, respect, and then the way we sort of set it up is such that to try to get like historically the way it's worked is like a studio will own an IP or a script or whatever, and then and they'll say, okay, we want you to do it. Okay, well, how much? Well, how much did you get for the last one, right? And you go, then what's the budget? And then that's how they assign a value to it, right? But like my belief was, well, especially when these streamers are like coming into the market and chasing stuff, is like this movie may be worth more, it may be worth less, and that like we're all just subject to that. So we'll try to get the best price for it, and we'll all share it.
Yeah, if we don't give up, man, we can win
And
this.
essentially, that was the same process. We've done 8, I guess, movies or so now, and we took it out, and people wanted it, and then one of the things that was really appealing to
Dang it.
Netflix was that they were open to this idea that we've been trying to institutionalize, and was like, okay, great, that's really meaningful, because ideally it becomes a template that other people go, hey, we want to do that thing, and I mean, go, oh, here's the paper.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like a lot of people say that they would want to do it, but it's now.
I took them
that
all for a
template
ride.
exists,
That's the only
it's
reason.
like plug and play.
No, we did. We
Unfortunately,
played good
if you
there.
do mean that, then guess what? Just take this and
And it
go
also
do
is
it,
going to
you
let
know?
you, I hope, like manage the risk. In other words, the argument you always have is like, well, shit, we got to invest all this money in the movie, so you can't have your protagonist be too objectionable, that's too edgy, or can't be R-rated because it costs this much. I get it, right? You're going to put all your money into it. You don't want money to fucking disappear. You want to make money, okay? So, like when we wrote the first movie that we're in, Good Will Hunting, it was like we knew that had to be a cheap movie. People talking in rooms to each other because no one's going to put a bunch of money into a movie.
And do a movie with us.
Two assholes that no one heard of. So it was like, okay, what can we do that's interesting and try to keep it as inexpensive as possible so that we can make the argument that someone should make the movie. That same logic like carries through every time you're asking somebody to invest in something. So what I'd like to have happen is to say, okay, now that we know there's a reliable system where we understand that like in success we'll actually benefit, we can lower the price up front for you so that you can have a low fucking barrier to entry so that you can take the risk so that we can do something really interesting that's an original idea, that's an Oppenheimer or a Sinners or a fucking Marty Supreme or whatever it is. And then if it's successful, we're not all sitting here like assholes where you guys walk off with all the money, and you can have that happen in an ongoing way so that you can make more interesting shows.
A lot of the stuff that was
I just
going
forget
on
like
with strikes
Rocket
was
and
around
Gambit.
AI.
I mean, Gambit does heal pretty
AI is
fast,
gonna do to the
but if you're not getting
business,
direct heals like a Luna or a
feel is going to
Yes.
be like the biggest problem with AI? Is it going to be with people's likenesses? Because there's a lot of that where they want to use extras and own their digital rights forever, essentially be able to recreate them in any kind of film. But then there's also, you're going to have films that are written by artificial intelligence. You're going to have scenes that don't involve people, and it gets weird, right?
It gets really weird, but there's actually an
It's
area
tricky.
of
Like,
expertise for him.
yeah, we've been spending time looking at this. Like, my belief is, it's sort of like, what's going to happen with electricity? Well, a lot of shit's going to happen with electricity.
oh
Some
my
is gonna be
goodness,
good,
dude! I just went
shit
from
that's
750
gonna
to
be
0 in no
It's
time.
gonna be, shit that
Oh, that was weird.
It's opening a door.
Oh,
that
I
you
don't
can't,
understand that. They got a nerf Hawkeye or something, dude.
Talk about it in a kind of a blanket way, but I think
Like he's
with-
doing
what I
350
see is that, for example, if you try to get
per
ChatGPT
headshot or something like that. I forget.
Gemini
It's
to
insane.
write you something, it's really shitty, and it's shitty because by its nature it goes to the mean, the average, and it's not reliable, and I just can't stand to see what it writes. Now it's a useful tool if you're a writer, and you're going, what's the thing? I'm trying to set something up where somebody sends someone a letter, but it's delayed 2 days and it can give you some examples of that. I actually don't think it's very likely that it's going to be able to write anything meaningful, or, and in particular, that it's going to be making movies like from whole cloth, like Tilly Norwood. Like, that's bullshit. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's not. I think it turns out that technology is not progressing in exactly the same way they sort of presented it. And really, what it is going to be a tool. Just like sort of visual effects, and yeah, it needs to have language around it. You need to protect your name and likeness. You can do that. You can watermark it. Those laws already exist. I can't sell your fucking picture for money. I can't. You can sue me, period. I might have the ability to draw you, to make you in a very realistic way, but that's already against the law. And the unions are gonna, I think the guilds are gonna manage this where it's like, okay, look, if this is a tool that actually helps us, for example, we don't have to go to the North Pole, right? We can shoot the scene here in our parkas and whatever it is, but then make it appear very realistically as if we're in the North Pole. This will save us a lot of money, a lot of time. We're going to focus on the performances and not be breathing our ass off out there and running back inside. That's useful. Just like Spencer Tracy and Katharine Hepburn used to be like driving their car and there's a wind blowing a painting behind them and it looked goofy. And now, in computer generated, people use a lot of computer generated stuff. And some of it is going to replace just that. Like instead of 500 guys in Singapore, making $2 an hour to render all the graphics for a superhero movie, there's going to be able to do that a lot easier. There's already
Bro,
laws
why
around,
are you-
guild guidelines around like how many union extras.
You're a rocket, bro. What are we doing?
But also,
We're just trying to flex a little bit.
There weren't a million orcs in Middle Earth. You know what I mean? There aren't in Invictus. There weren't all those people in the stadium. Like that's something we've been doing. It kind of feels to me like
We still have a chance. I thought that was the
there's
end of the
a
game,
lot
but
more
I'm not
fear
paying attention.
because we have the sense this existential dread. It's going to wipe everything out.
Right.
But that actually runs counter, in my view, to what history seems to show, which is adoption is slow, it's incremental. I think a lot of that rhetoric comes from people who are trying to justify valuations around companies where they go, we're going to change everything. In 2 years, there's going to be no more work. Well, the reason they're saying that is because they need to ascribe a valuation for investment that can warrant the capex spend they're going to make on these data centers with the argument that, like,
Dude,
oh,
Deadpool is so
As
evasive.
soon as we do the next model, it's going to scale up and be 3 times as good. Except that actually ChatGPT 5 about 25 times.
This buff to Hulk, his clap is insane now. I just don't know what to say. You get it like really fast. You get it really fast.
The line went up very steeply, and it's now sort of leveling off. I think it's because, and yes, it'll get better, but it's going to be really expensive to get better.
I was just playing too aggressive.
We want ChatGPT 4 because it turned out like the vast majority of people who use AI are using it to as companion bots to chat with at night. So there's no work, there's no productivity, there's no value to it. I would argue there's also not a lot of social
shield.
value to getting people to focus on an AI friend who's telling you that you're great and listening to everything you say and being sycophantic. That's sort of a side issue. I think for this particular purpose,
Went 9 and 6.
the way
That was
I see
terrible.
The technology and what it's good at and what it's not, it's going to be good at filling in all the places that are expensive and burdensome and they make it harder to do it. And it's always going to rely fundamentally on the human artistic aspects of it.
Well, I think the more it becomes ubiquitous, the more people are going to appreciate real things that are made by real people. Like you still appreciate a handmade table. You're gonna appreciate did you see The Beast in Me, Claire Danes?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Fucking great.
Yeah, I heard it was great.
That lady, whoo,
It's terrific.
whoo. When she's in a scene,
Oh.
you're just like, Jesus Christ,
Great actress.
her fucking lips are quivering.
Dang it, dude. I did not mean to do that.
But
I
you're right,
keep
people
queuing up for a
want
quick
that.
match and I'm
You
trying to
can't
play
fake that.
ranked.
Right.
I'll say I did this interview with Dwayne Johnson because they when people are in these awards things they sometimes have other actors interview them and I did this interview with Dwayne and I asked him, there's this scene in The Smashing Machine where he's overdosed on drugs and his buddy comes to see him in the hospital.
Yeah.
And it really walloped me, this scene. I thought it was so great. And I asked him and I was just like, can you just tell me about this scene? Like, did Benny Safdie directed it? Did Benny write that? Did you work on that scene with them? Did you? He goes, no, we actually worked on it together. And I go, well, but how did that scene come to be? And Dwayne goes, well, my father was an alcoholic, and I don't remember if he said substance abuser or alcoholic, but I didn't know the man. I don't want to impugn him, but he had a substance issue, whatever it was. He goes, and when he would talk to me, that's how he would defend himself. It was almost a bargaining thing, because there's this thing when this guy comes to him, he's overdosed, and Dwayne's amazing in this scene. He's going like, yeah, isn't it crazy? And then I woke up and I could hear him, but I couldn't really hear him. And you see him, and he's kind of tap dancing. And his friend finally kind of holds his feet to the fire. And at that moment, Dwayne literally starts to burst into tears and just pulls the hospital sheet up over his head. And it's like, I'm not doing it justice if you haven't. I mean, I know you've seen it. Yeah. But he said, yeah, so he explains that about his father, and then he goes, and when my mom was diagnosed with stage 3 lung cancer, I was with her when the oncologist came in, and she was lying in the hospital bed. And when he gave her the news, she pulled the sheet up over her head, and I looked at her, and she just looked like a little kid, And I was like, all right, so that, right, is 2 traumatic events from this guy's life, right? From his life experience. And the actor in him, right, sees this scene, goes into his memory, pulls these two things out, understands that they're appropriate for this scene, and he can marry them together in the scene, and then he goes and performs it that way. And a dude walking in off the road goes to the movies, sees this, understands somehow that it's fucking real. I didn't know why. That's why I wanted to ask him, how did that scene come to be? I genuinely didn't know. And made me tear up, and, you know, that is...
And
there's
little
no fucking
technology
AI
is
that can
gonna-
do that.
No.
It's a whole lot more than photorealistic images.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Dwayne
that
Johnson.
you could have an AI understand Dwayne's face and move his face into different. No fucking
never
thing
do
could
that.
ever do
The
that.
complications of real life experiences relayed.
That is a
in
completely human. That is
yes.
that is an artist. That's a piece of art. Right?
Yes.
That comes out of a lived human experience.
That movie gave me so much anxiety. There's moments where Emily Blunt is arguing
She's so
with him.
fucking
where
good in
she's
that
so
movie.
good.
I really said I was like that. I think that's the best she's ever been. I live, you know, we live in the same building in New York. She's a very dear friend of mine, and I was like, I really think that's the best she's ever been. And then I
Who just
said that,
killed me?
blurted that out to Chris Nolan, and he kind of stopped and looked at me like, he didn't say it, but he was kind of like, she's pretty fucking good in my movie too.
Well, she's great, period.
She's great, period.
She's great,
Yeah,
period. But there's something about that. Well, I knew Mark. I knew Mark from. I met Mark in '97 when he was fighting in the UFC. So I knew the whole journey of him, and I was so happy for Dwayne because it was a film where instead of being this fucking superhero blockbuster Hulk of a man, he gets to be that, but be a great actor. And you know, you can't really get a person to look like that, to express.
That was a crazy,
emotions,
on Vinny's part.
and he was Mark Kerr.
I know.
If you know Mark, I mean, it was fucking great acting.
I completely forgot it was him, and somebody who had seen it before told me that was going to happen. And I was like, all right, we'll see. You know? And it was like from the second it started.
That was a good
Didn't
wall.
get the credit it deserved in terms of like the amount of people that went to see it, but I think overall, in time, people will appreciate
Yeah,
it.
that's what
Yeah.
people go back to.
Yes,
And look at and talk about.
because it's a movie about MMA, so a lot of people are like, I don't want to see a movie about a bunch of fucking meatheads, but it's not. It's
at
just
all,
a
yeah.
movie that happens to be around MMA, but it's a great movie.
Yeah,
The,
yeah.
the scenes are fucking
They're fucking
fantastic.
fantastic.
The acting
Yeah,
is
yeah.
so good,
Absolutely.
and even the fight scenes, they're so realistic, man. It's really like I saw all those fights. They've recreated those fights about as good as you can get.
Yeah.
And just his crazy struggle. And you know the story behind the documentary, The Smashing Machine?
No.
So the Smashing Machine was made when
That
Mark
was
at the
huge.
height of his powers and pride, and he was the most terrifying guy in the world. He was just 265 pounds of solid muscle, just blowing through people. Didn't even look like a human being. Everyone was terrified of him. No one knew he was a drug addict. No one knew. And he spiraled out as they were filming, and he let them film him. Let them film him shooting up. Let them film him, like, bringing this giant bag of pills with him and all this shit everywhere and just completely falling apart. While they were supposed to be capturing this hero movie
Right.
of the greatest fighter in the world, he's falling apart, like, live in front of the documentary. It was a fucking amazing documentary.
I got to see it.
It's really good, but I was so happy that they put it in a film, and I was so happy that it gave Dwayne a vehicle to show what he's really capable
Yeah.
of, because he's so limited by a
Bro,
lot of
who
the
just
parameters
killed
of
us?
The roles that he was in.
Jeff?
Yeah, and by
Well,
and
Jeff
by,
didn't do all the
like,
damage, so.
galactic success. too,
Yes.
right. I mean,
Yes.
it's
that's the
he
other thing.
he
Yeah,
Yeah,
had
someone
he had
filmed
to,
us.
and will continue to have to push for that, right? Because it's
Yeah.
what he wants, right?
Yeah.
And not because what they're going to continue to want him to do is, you know, the thing that mints them money.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
I
which-
suspect that his experience and feeling about this movie.
from the conversations
different
I've
from
had
the
with him, yeah, this has changed him. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's like this thing that these superhero guys have to do, where it's like something has to change because otherwise you're going to be boxed.
Yeah.
And with a guy that looks like that, it's so easy
Yeah.
to put him in that box.
Gotta keep our penny alive,
So
yeah.
you see him now; he's thinner. He's lost a lot of weight. Like Dave Bautista went through a very similar thing too,
Right,
right?
yeah,
Like, he
yeah,
wanted to be,
yeah.
he wanted to have more range. Wanted to have more opportunities to do exciting and different, challenging things.
Well, I think also coming from where he came from, right? It's like you talk about going from TV to movies in the old days. Try coming from wrestling to
Right.
to like the biggest movie star in the world, right? It's incredible that he did that, and now he's in this place where he's got this leverage because he's so beloved, and that he can kind of tailor what he wants from here on out.
It's hard to bring the audience with you.
Right.
Like, no, I know you like this thing, but let me show you something else. It's sort of like you go to the concert, the band wants to play the new songs, play the fucking hits. So he's a little gilded cage. All right, fucking Satisfaction.
Yeah.
No, I love the song too.
Yeah.
My acoustic thing that I did. Woo!
Yeah, I went to see the Stones, and when they were here in town, and there was a few songs they played that were like new songs.
Oh, really?
And see, the audience is like, okay.
I feel like Adam Warlock should have 275 or 3.
Yeah.
Well, 275 is the max for
I mean,
either.
but every artist, I guess,
But
has to
maybe
make
even
that
make him a
choice.
300.
He's made it, and
I feel like
and
it'd kinda
it was
balance him a
amazing
little bit.
vehicle, too, because he still kept
'Cause
that
his heels aren't the best,
superhuman,
but-
hulkish frame.
Yeah.
And then, but also showed like, God, there's like amazing depth there.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that's, I think, especially because it's collaborative, it happens with other people. That's what movies do that other shit doesn't do. It's just create, like, you feel for people. It's empathy. It's all made up, right? That's not him. It's all an illusion. It's all bullshit. But if you do it really well with, like, somebody that seems to really be feeling something, like, all of a sudden, I think what it does, it touches, like, these things in ourselves. Like, it has that same effect that Dwayne went through it articulates to you about, like, these moments that were kind of burned into his memory. Then really the best movies are kind of almost blank screens that we project our own fucking, like, oh yeah, when my father died, or I'm through this with my kid, or I feel fucking alone and miserable, and here's this, like,
Dang, bro.
moment that someone has to go, maybe I can do something. They inspire you, they touch you, they move you, and it's the thing to go for. The other thing is, is to tell the lighter story, to go through the more typical sort of tropes of it all, and
Either way, you're in somebody else's perspective for a few hours,
Yeah.
and hopefully it breeds compassion.
Well, when it's done right, there's a magic to it where you forget that it's happening and you're there. And the most amazing trick is when it's done by famous people. I was talking to Ethan Hawke about this. There's a scene with him and Kevin Bacon when in that movie with Julia Roberts about the end of the world. I forget the name of it.
Right. Yeah.
tomorrow.
It's tomorrow something.
Yeah.
People will find it. But it's great fucking movie. But there's this scene where he's trying to he's talking to Kevin Bacon. Kevin Bacon's got a gun to him. And it's so I know that's Kevin Bacon. I know that's Ethan Hawke. It doesn't matter. Like, you're fucking locked in. You're locked in. You're like, oh shit. Like, that's the magic.
Yeah.
And he was like, but I'm locked in too. Like, it's like a hypnosis. It's like everybody is in the scene in a very bizarre way. Like, you have the lines, but you're living it. And
sure.
and that's either done or it's not done. And when it's not done, you could tell someone's
feel
kind
it.
of just performative.
You feel it when you're watching.
Yes.
If it does that thing and it pulls you
Yeah.
in, then it's happening.
That's the magic of film.
And sometimes you trick people, I guess, but for the most part,
For the most part, you don't.
trick
if
some
you're
people.
feeling it and it's really happening,
Yeah.
it's much
People-
more like
other human beings
people are feeling it too.
recognize human beings experiencing real shit.
Yes.
They
It's
really
like these
do.
mirror
That's
neurons.
what
Like, I know what sorrow looks like without having to fucking, I can't break it down for you, or I even, we all know kind of what, like, oh, he's a little anxious right now, or did I maybe offend him, or is he, all these little things. And when like, in the rare moments when these big feelings or the things happen, you feel it too, and you usually, like, an example is there's an old saying about, like, actors try to cry, people try not to cry, like, because when you're really experiencing that shit, you don't want people to see it, you want to hide it, you want to, no, I'm okay, I'm fine, it's like,
You want to pull the sheet up over you.
Yeah,
Exactly,
yeah.
But the other thing that's really interesting from our side of doing it, because he and I have talked about this a lot, is, and I've always said publicly, like, great actors are good enough for both of you. Like, when you're in a scene with a great actor, that thing that Ethan's talking about, that hypnosis or whatever you want to call it, that energy, that place where you go, right?
they're bringing you right with it.
It's like a
doing all the
fucking
work, yeah.
tractor beam. They will suck you right in with them, and, like, as quickly as you look into their eyes, and you're like just there. And it's like, and it's not like, it's like riding the easiest wave you've ever ridden in your life.
Mm.
You know, it can be the hardest thing in the world, and it can be the easiest thing in the world. When you're with a great actor, it's just if the scene's a good
Yeah, that's
scene.
the real paradox. Is like all the stuff that I'm the most proud of. The weird thing about it is felt very easy at the time. And the shit where you're banging your head against the wall trying to get blood from a stone and killing yourself and the whole thing, and it ends up fucking feeling empty. And the thing about the stuff that I'm proud of is my insecurity is like, should be harder than this, right? Are we like we working hard enough? Are we
Right.
and learn to kind of just trust that. Go, it feels good. Let's just keep going.
Well, there's some scenes in this movie, without giving too much away, where there's conflict between you two guys that seems so real. And that's even harder to recreate because you guys are good friends. And you're making the movie together, and you've got this scene where you're acting in this, with the conflict with the two of you guys in the movie. But it's very fucking real.
The reason that it was real is that I like that scene. The reason it works, I think, is because he's coming at me, and he really needs to know something, and I'm completely blanking him. Like he's going, you gotta tell me what's going on, man.
Yeah.
He's like, it's awesome. Like what is the thing? And I'm just like literally kind of blanking him in this bizarre way, which like was really frustrating him in real life because he was because that feeling of like, dude, it's fucking tell me, dude, it's you and me. Like when he finally goes, he screams out, I don't trust you right now. That's a fucking problem, right? Which is like what you would say to an old friend. Like, what are you doing, man? Like what are you doing? Like.
Like the betrayal.
Tell me the betrayal is that,
or tell me the truth.
Lie to me or tell me the truth.
To me and like step outside our whole relationship and all of a sudden
just
act like
give me this weird look of just like I don't know, like. And so when we were doing the scene, it was really fucking pissing him off. I can see him, like, getting,
the
like,
one line that wasn't written that I saw. I remember doing was I would have never fucked you like this.
I would have never fucked you like this. Yeah.
Which I didn't even remember saying is George. I like that. Keep that thing. I wouldn't have fucked you. And I thought I was like, what is he? What did I just do? And I so watched the playback. It was one of those rare moments again. It was like where it was that thing of you doing all the work by not doing anything, which I didn't expect that to be the choice that you made, and it just was confusing and felt like just leaving you out in the fucking cold. I think the only thing I could rely on is like I wouldn't do this to you.
So do you have, in those moments where you're ad-libbing a line, where a line comes, is it just that feels like that's what you say?
Yeah.
It's just kind of like he couldn't stop from saying it.
Right.
But you have to be working with somebody that makes that okay. You know what I mean? Because the part of your brain that will like govern you or tell you something's not okay, whatever, will step in if it's sort of like, listen, I expect you to fucking do this box. And there's directors and writers who really do care about every word precisely, and that and that's how they do it, and that's fine. And that could be great too. For me, like I find it becomes more interesting, and sometimes better stuff happens if you actually feel like you don't have to say any of the lines.
Yo, we all died. We just all died.
Then I'll tend to say the ones.
How did we all die?
Right, but like it's that fake thing that never happens in life, which is I've never seen you talking to you and think what's
It's every time.
What am I supposed to say and how should I say that?
And it's not about the lines ever. It's not about the words. It's about what's the scene about? What's happening in the scene?
It's one of the reasons why Curb Your Enthusiasm is so great. Because Larry David just gives you a place to get to.
Yeah.
Like
Gives them a loose agenda of what's going to happen.
And then films a bunch of stuff, and everybody figures it out.
Yeah.
And a lot of times that show's about the awkward shit in between when people are missing each other or not sure of themselves
Always,
and a little embarrassed. And
fucking
maybe
genius show.
It really is.
Well, and people talk like we're talking. Like you occasionally talk over each other. There's a stumble. There's no one like what the fuck are you talking? There's weirdness.
Well, because what's also happening is that forces you to really listen. Right, and that is the hardest thing to kind of learn for young actors. I think is it's really all about listening. And like I did a bunch of movies with Paul Greengrass, and that's how he works, where you just know the agenda going in. You know some basic things that you know what your guy needs going in. Like I was playing a chief warrant officer, and I had to go through a door, and there was a guy, and I needed to interrogate him. And this is what I needed to know.
Yo, who's diving? We have a Spider-Man?
With my guys, and I needed to get to this guy. We needed to make sure everybody here was secure. So, and he put me with a bunch of
Oh, he can double hop off of heads?
combat veterans. we fucking went in and they're
Which
the
is
extras.
another thing that does your job for you.
It's just being around the real people.
Joe putting the cops from Miami.
Oh, look at this
parts and
cloak and dagger.
Just like by osmosis, you feel more legitimate. The thing feels more authentic to the audience. You don't know why, because you don't know what the fucking culture is of the tactical narcotics team in Miami. But when you see the real guys,
And we're all dead, dude. Like, what are we doing?
And you hang out with
Good
them.
night. I just hate to be that guy,
It's also
but
specific to this because
what are we doing?
This real tactical narcotics team in Miami, and the guy who ran this guy Chris Castellano is Joe's friend, and he's the guy that my character is based on. So Chris. We went, we rode along with Chris down there. We went with that team and watched them operate, and then hung out with them. And then they came up, and they were, all in the movie. And Chris was around as a technical advisor the whole time. So any question, like little details. All right, how do I go through this door? What do I do? What do you do here? What's the protocol here? All of that stuff was kind of overseen by him, so that it was how they really do it.
That whole fucking town is so. Did you ever see Cocaine Cowboys?
Yes.
oh shit.
Yeah.
The entire fucking graduating class of the police academy one year either wound up murdered or in jail.
That's what happens. All of a sudden, you push so much fucking money into something, right? And it's like before they even kind of figured out, like, and there wasn't even a lot of stigma. It was like, cocaine, whatever. It's kind of rich guys, fun drug. But it's just some statistic about like, the amount of money in the banks in Miami was like the same as the rest of the country.
More banks per capita in Miami than anywhere else in the country.
Right.
Because they were just laundering money.
Right.
And they got away with it. They
Have you
literally
ever-
got away with it.
Have you ever flown over Bimini? The
No.
So if you ever fly over Bimini, there are all these like Cessnas underwater, all these planes like around the island, because what they used to do, Bimini's like the closest. It's 50 miles off the coast of Florida. They would come in with a plane full of drugs, and just crash the plane into the water. They would land it
on purpose.
On purpose, because there's no runway on Bimini. There's no.
It's like fuck it, we're gonna dump the plane in the
They
water
would
and take it
have
out.
10 cigarette boats, like a flotilla of boats waiting. They would crash the plane. They'd offload the drugs as the plane was sinking, right? And then they'd put it. The Coast Guard figures it. They're always coming for them. That's why they have 10 boats. They throw the drugs into one of the boats, and they got a 1 out of 10 chance of making it. They just scatter,
And
the Coast Guard
cost
goes
of
after
plane.
one of them and hopes they get the right one. And not, it's just like, no, it's just taking a cruise tonight. What's the problem, officer? But the planes are still all submerged. Like the water's so clear you can see.
How many fucking Oh, wow.
there you go.
Nice.
That's crazy. How many fucking planes are out there?
I flew over it probably 20 years ago, but I mean, there's.
Yeah, that was
I don't know how long. I mean,
wild.
but if you think.
Yo, where are the
One of
heels
first
at?
ones
My
was-
goodness, bro, I'm
and the
standing
amount of
there.
drugs they were moving on.
That
Look at it. Yeah,
is
there you go.
Fucking wild.
That's great. They're kind of landing where it's sort of shallow.
Yeah, they land and it's like
Fuck it, we can swim.
5 to 10 feet of water, and what do they land?
This
at
team is just
55
giving up, bro. I don't know what we're doing.
That looks nice too.
We could totally win.
Wow. It won't be comfortable, but I mean, Sully landed at 737
Yeah,
or whatever
right.
it was in the
Right.
water.
Yeah.
This is freaking Emma.
Fucking wild. What a crazy part of our culture that happened.
Yeah.
That the
I mean,
whole
me too.
cocaine
I'm
run
not doing
during
too
the
well.
80s in particular, like
Yeah.
Miami Vice,
Teams,
all that shit.
Hulk's a very much team
Shaped
reliant
The
character.
entire country.
For sure.
If our team's not playing aggressive, I
That
can't
one
do
guy in
jack.
that documentary who was like, I think he was from Boston, and he was like the pilot, and he had figured out the route, and he was like, man, we could have gotten away with this forever. He was like, because somebody talked, and he knew that's the only way we would have been caught.
By
He
the
was
way,
like,
you know
I
what-
had it all. He was clearly really smart.
A ton
He
of
had, like-
guys did too. You know
Yeah,
what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
There's a whole lot of people out there that were like, yeah, we had a nice run.
Yeah.
That's why I got 8 houses. It's like,
Just hate
Oh, yeah.
Spider-Man.
That's one of the real crimes that people got away with, was bringing cocaine into this country. There's a lot of people that got very wealthy, including banks, which is just really crazy.
banks with the jewelry companies.
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
There was like more Jaguar dealerships in Miami than everywhere else in the country. And it was like, doesn't pay to ask questions.
I really don't want to lose, but I don't think our team knows how
Don't say
to
all cash, sure.
back up. Like, as a team, we're just not coordinated. So,
Backyards in Miami. Miami still to this day have
It is what it
bags
is.
just buried somewhere that
Like,
nobody knows.
that's one
about.
thing that sucks about Hulk is like even
Yeah.
When you
as,
buy a house
as
in
aggressive as you
Miami,
want to play him, it really
Well, at
doesn't
least find out
can't
who
do
owned it
anything if
before
your
you go to
team
the
doesn't play
pilot.
aggressive.
Yeah.
Get a truck. Get a tractor. It's time to dig up the backyard. I mean, one of those guys in the films had millions of dollars just buried in his backyard. They had nowhere to put it.
Right.
They were making so much money, they just had to bury it places.
That's fucking crazy.
Well, it's why it's a perfect backdrop for the film, because, that the situation that the cops, without giving away too much of the plot, but the situation that the cops are dealing with is a very real situation. I mean, so many DEA agents turn dirty. So many cops turn dirty. It's because they just get
so much
confronted.
temptation.
Yes.
It's like you take these people, you got like 6, 7 people, they fucking work for a living, they have the same bullshit they have to deal with, and there's $20 million, and it makes for great like drama too, even like with the performances, because all of a sudden somebody's thinking like, okay, how are they gonna react? Who's gonna be the first person to say, I'm gonna have to turn this all in, and like getting to play that shit. And for me also, I like, without being, sanctimonious or preachy, because I really think movies, we're talking about like what they do well. What they do very poorly is deliver messages or lecture. As soon as you get into that thing, the audience is like, I'm gonna go to church for that or fucking school. I don't need that shit here. But I like that what was underneath it is like, this is a fucking hard job. And that there's a lot of value. Like these characters, the ones that are trying to do their job, are trying to get through the day, and just at the end of the day have done their job like they said they were going to do. Adhere to the fucking ethics that they're supposed to, and at the end of the day be able to sleep at night and believe there's some value in not fucking stealing the money or flipping somebody over. You know what I mean? And doing all that shit. And that's the win. The win doesn't have to be get away with the bag of money or fucking, save the world from, the evil scientist laser beam or whatever. It's like, at the end of the day, if you can fucking live with yourself and say, look, I acquitted myself according to what the fucking expectations were and what am I true to my word. And I think there's I don't know, that affected me. I found that kind of moving. And you can't do it if you create like, if to credit to Joe's script, like just two-dimensional characters. Oh, I'm the hero, I'm the villain, or this person would never do that. You don't have to be real people, like you would be, subject to like temptation. And money just represents whatever that thing is you think you want, or that's going to make your life better. It's something different to everybody, but and especially when you're facing like real, the custody thing or the the sick relative or whatever it is. It's a real thing. Nobody's immune to that kind of temptation, Sometimes I think it's cavalier to be like, oh, well, you're dirty. You're not putting people in a very tough situation a lot of times, particularly if they're feeling like undervalued. Like the woman scene where Catalina's like, I get fucking pissed, I get yelled at, I get shit on. You know what I mean? Like I'm out here grinding every fucking day. It's a lot to ask, and I think it's worth kind of making that heroic without sort of indicating too much.
No, it's really well written because there's no suspension of disbelief moments. And that's hard to do in a big blockbuster action movie. There's always one moment in a movie where you're like, what?
Come on.
How did he do that?
Well, that's convenient.
You guys don't have any of those. There's none of that. And I loved it. I loved that aspect of it too, where it felt like all of it was like, I believed it. I believed it.
And that's really a credit to Joe and his taste, and that's why we really thought like this guy knew how to make an art. He kind of obviously understood this world, and understood that it has to, above all, it has to feel real. And that's why he was open to like, okay, whatever happens, you throw in a line, maybe it's good. You can't get your feeling hurt if it's not, but like you got to be able to take that shot, and we're all down, trying to spend time with people. I mean, I kind of feel for these cops, a bunch of actors descend on you, and they're like, what kind of sweatshirt is that?
It was like that Michael J. Fox, James Woods movie. Remember that movie? When I forget what it was called, but Michael J. Fox is an actor following around James Woods. He's studying him for a character, and James Woods is a real detective. He's just like, get this guy away from me. I kept thinking of that.
What kind of hair gel you use?
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Like all these questions, But they were very tolerant of us, which was nice and really, really helpful, because it's always details. It's always details. It's like how fastidiously do you kind of mine for those details? Because I've always been convinced that like an audience, it's like you were saying, they don't analyze why they don't believe something. They feel it. They just don't believe it. Yeah. And it's usually because those details are you don't get those.
And that's the only thing. Like, I'm not.
I'm in a bad spot. I was so dumb on my part.
I was saying, everything that I've done, like that I like, has been a result of something I found in research. Like for the town.
Dang it!
went
I should have
down
saved
and
it.
just
Should have saved it.
looked at, you know, all the prisons, you know, out there in Massachusetts, federal prisons, state prisons, and sat down and talked to guys who robbed trucks and banks. And, you know, kind of sometimes, you know, you want to know, and then sat down with the FBI guys and was like, what are they like? And the great shit, you know, for me is that, you know, and I'm in like at Walpole, or I'm in the prison of Dedham or whatever, and I'm to some guy, I said, like, after talking to him for 2 hours, you know, I was like,
Like, bro, and we're all gone.
ever happened or fucked up?
Where is everybody at? We're just like, we have no front line.
You know, we were coming out of this, we robbed this truck, and we had the mask, we got the switch car, we drove around the corner and whatever, we pull up, we get out fucking guns, the mask, the whole thing, and we look over, and it's this cop sitting there doing construction to him. And I was like, right then, he didn't tell me a story. I was like, oh shit. I was like, what happened? He goes, no.
This guy just, what I think he just said. Oh, oh my goodness, I just jumped right into that. Oh, thank you, Cloak. I love you.
Full automatic weapons.
Man, it was over.
Switching
Dude, just get the
cars.
group. Get the group.
It's a great moment in the town, like in the movie, because you know
don't
Renner,
know
they
what
all
we're doing.
jump out of
Yeah,
the
I
things,
remember that scene.
and he, oh yeah, here it is.
It was like,
It's great, and it's this awkward. They just stop, and this dude, he sees him. They see him.
He's like, fuck, we have to kill this guy.
Nope. He turns away.
Okay.
It's such a great, but that's straight from research, which I always loved that story. And then the line is here. He put it here.
Everyone on up at the wall of the VFW. Yeah. Wow. It was a great, you know.
It's a great line.
It was such a simple explanation for what do you think he did, you know, and why, like, and that's exactly what it would have been. Like that guy, the next day's picture would have been up in the wall.
Like, dude, he's making way too much space, bro. We don't have. Like, I want to play aggressive, but I mean, dude, are we? He's okay. Okay. We got support.
Human calculations and
We can walk him down now.
Version of it, but it also doesn't have. Sometimes it's not dramatic at all. You know, it's like, yeah, that was an easy decision, and the guy never says anything. No, I didn't say anything. You know, and you kind of can't really blame him. You know. It's,
Yeah. The Town was a great fucking movie too, man. And I knew a lot of people like that, you know, from boxing gyms and stuff.
Oh,
I knew a guy who was a hitman for Whitey Bulger. Yeah. I knew a guy who's a friend of a brother of mine who went to jail for that, for murder, for killing people. Yeah.
What town did you grow up in?
I lived in Newton. I grew up I lived in Jamaica Plain for a little while, and I lived in Newton, but I spent a lot of time in Boston because I was fighting. I was mostly
You bro, get off. She shouldn't be able to do that.
Like very shady characters who were in the fighting world, and a lot of them had backgrounds in crime.
Shouldn't be able to do that to Monster Hulk, dude. That is so dumb. This dude is, like, I want to say 20 times your weight. It's the Hulk, dude. We're playing with the Hulk.
Broke every bone in his body with
I hate Bucky.
and kept injecting him with cocaine to keep him alive.
Bucky makes playing Hulk so unfun.
And then they cut his hands off and cut his head off. Jesus. And this guy that I used to train with got arrested for that.
Jesus.
Yeah, he didn't wind up going to jail for that. He's dead now, but
Like,
he
I hate Bucky.
somehow or another
I hate
at
Bucky.
least peripherally involved.
They gotta nerf people, bro. Guang Guang, if y'all end up watching this anyway, anyhow, I just want to say we gotta get some buffs for Hulk. And I mean, like, nerfing the fact that this, like, just common logic things, and it's with any hero, but especially Hulk. This dude is so heavy. You're telling me Emma Frost, as strong as she gets with her diamond form, he can pick up this man, throw her over her shoulder, and start beating the crap out of me? No way! Hulk just wouldn't let that happen.
And talk to him. And it's interesting because such a good lesson.
And then Bucky, I don't care how strong his arm is, bro. He is not grabbing the Hulk and throwing and pushing me.
You know, there's always something a little. I remember one guy was supposed to be like this really violent, kind of loose cannon fucking guy.
Like,
who was supposed
grabbing
to
me, okay, okay. Let alone that. I mean, that's a little understandable.
In a robbery.
But pushing me,
Like, shows up with his polo
well,
shirt,
grabbing,
starts
pushing, same
dating
thing,
me.
dude.
How's it going?
I'm done.
Just like I never would have.
But that just,
put this
like,
guy on
please.
fucking killing poor people. You know what I
You
mean?
don't
Yeah,
understand.
So I love that one movie, and you're just thinking, "Fuck, man!" Like,
I mean, it's not the same
this
thing. It's
is wild.
totally,
And
I
it's a
mean,
really
it's
good
different
lesson
muscles,
for,
but
like,
still.
you know, we tend to read a script, and okay, this guy's the tough guy, and he's going to be the. It's like you work with, like, I had the fucking like the opportunity to train with these Delta guys, like, you know. It's the most elite special forces combat.
I want to
fucking
bubble, just jump in and
operators
bubble,
in the
but I
world.
can't.
And of course, the SEALs will take to exception to that, but what just numerically, right? I think there's been less than 900 guys ever in the history of Delta. You meet them, and they're not the biggest guys, they're not the toughest guys. They're not trying to fucking be hard, and you know they're the most relaxed, at ease, and it, you know, I found myself just being like, finally, I was like, what? Can I just ask you, what do you think makes somebody like qualify for the Delta Force? Like, what's a good Delta operator? He's like, you know, problem solving. Problem solving? The guy goes, yeah, it's probably like your job. I was like, no, let me tell you, no, it isn't. It's really not like my job. I appreciate it. There's a very big fucking difference. He's like, you solve problems. Like, yeah, no one's trying to kill me. See, that's the thing. But that was the closest insight I got to it, which was, you know, I've always kind of thought this about like a guys like Brady or something. There's guys that just don't get tight, and that they are kind of able to problem solve when the problem is like,
Dude, that would be really cool if he couldn't affect Hulk while he's in monster form with her mind control, because they've had in the comics, it's actually lore where people have tried to break his mind while he's like super angry, and it just doesn't work.
I'd be in a fucking panic and not have no idea what to do, and you get like attracted to the person who's like seems to have it like, hey, it's good, we're gonna be okay. Everybody get your shit, we're going over here. You'll just follow that guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And, but it's a good. It's not always the most. Maybe it's just because they're so confident. They're not like I don't need to prove that I can kick anybody's ass. I don't even get in fights. Like I have a weapon. You know what I mean? It's kind of like it's just it surprises me how those kinds of like extraordinary experiences in people or extraordinary people don't always manifest themselves in how they show up.
Right, we have caricatures in our head of what like these tough people are like. Well, you see that about MMA fighters. Like, there's a lot of MMA fighters. You meet them, they're like the sweetest, nicest, friendliest people in the world.
I remember going to one of the events in LA. I think it was at Staples, and I was backstage and was talking to one of like the lawyers for the UFC about. We were talking about Conor McGregor, and he was telling me a great story about him. And this guy walks up, and he's in a like chinos, like khaki pants, and like a blue button-up, like, you know, kind of business shirt with spectacles, and he's very small, and I kind of don't really regard him, and I'm still hearing the story. And then Patrick goes, Matt, do you know Henry? And I turn, and it's Henry Cejudo, and I'm like, this fucking guy.
Oh, I thought we would get healed, but we didn't. We did not get healed.
Like, absolutely fucking destroy me. And he is the guy that some dummy would try to pick on.
Yeah, right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, he does not. He's not carrying himself. Like, he just is the thing. You know.
And find out a little bit too late.
Yeah, don't find that one out late. Yeah.
A lot of guys do, unfortunately. Yeah, that's well, they don't have to prove themselves, right? They do it all the time. The same with Delta Force guys. Like, this idea that this like outwardly brash tough guy, usually that kind of machismo, and that's bullshit. Yeah. That's you're using that because you're insecure. Yeah. And the secure people are very calm and genuinely very friendly.
Really nice.
Yeah,
that's been my experience.
Yeah,
like,
it's crazy, right?
He's kind of beautiful too. You know, I've kind of like, what a great guy. And you feel like, that's nice of you to be so sweet to me, because you obviously don't have to be.
Right,
you know what I mean?
right,
I'll just give you my watch if you wanted that.
No, it is a fascinating thing. It's like we have these ideas in our head, these caricatures, you know, of what a tough man is, what a good woman is, what a this is, what a that is. And as I think one of the beautiful things about film, when a film is really good, is you see these complex characters, and it sort of like reformulates in your mind like what a person actually is.
Yeah, it's seeing all kinds of different people.
Yeah.
You know, and I completely agree.
I mean, look, the fundamental like challenge I think in life is like to find some humility, which means actually thinking you might be wrong about the shit that you're pretty sure about. And it means that like you kind of have to assume somebody else might have a point. You know, it's not like just writing everybody else off who disagrees with you because fuck him, he's stupid, he's an asshole, he's like those are things that actually take work to get to. Because the first instinct, because you just defend your idea or whatever, it's easier is to just
that it's a zero-sum game.
Yeah,
somehow.
exactly.
Yeah, that two competing ideas can't exist.
Well, that somebody can't be a good person
and believe
disagree.
right.
Like if you decide you can disagree, we don't believe this, or I don't know, what about this or what about that? But once you find yourself relying on I need to zero out this person's humanity in order to defend my idea, I think that's a pretty good indicator that there's something wrong with the way you're thinking. Because it can't be that you're right about everything and everyone else is bad who disagrees.
I think that was one of the most interesting things about The Sopranos, is that the main character, the guy that you loved, was a fucking murderer.
Yeah.
He was who would murder his friends. He was a complete mobster and a thug, but you really loved him.
Loved the shit out of
cared
that
about
guy.
It was so complicated.
I'm
And
rewatching
Jimmy
it
was
with my
so
daughter right now.
good at doing the part
he
that
was-
you found yourself being like, I think he probably has to kill him now.
Yeah.
But
Probably
that's
gotta kill that.
that's
He was
also
like-
that's also great. A great actor. There's a very famous story about Marlon Brando when he did Streetcar Named Desire, and Tennessee Williams, who wrote it, freaked out because he was making Stanley Kowalski. He was making people empathize with Stanley Kowalski, and Tennessee Williams was like, "But I wrote him as a brute. He was like a two-dimensional brute who just came and beat up his wife and was supposed to be this kind of dark looming force over the play." But Brando was like, "No, he's a human being.
That
I'm
is
gonna play him.
that is crazy.
And
I would have never thought that would be an automated thing.
play. But
Ultimately,
Williams,
that so
in
much
all of
more
his
reflects
writings,
life in the real
Yeah.
world.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
everybody's the hero of their story. Everyone has the reasons for why they're doing it. When people don't set out to be like, I'm just gonna
Oh, that was
murder
good.
someone or dominate the world. You
Yeah.
think, well, I gotta protect what I have. It's not bring it back to this movie, but it's what I liked about Rip was it was kind of the slippery slope. That first time you take a little money. And then, I got to cover that. I don't want to go to jail. I have my reasons why I did that. But now I've told a lie. Now I got to cover that thing. And now you have guys who both live by this code that's very, hey, you protect the people who are with you, and you got to.
Oh, I should have grabbed him.
And so now it's two people very similar, by that kind of slippery slope, of ultimately find themselves, willing to kill one another. Because it's really not. I don't believe in that one choice turn. It's more, how do you find yourself? You dig yourself in a fucking hole because you're just covering up trying to fix the last problem that's arisen, And everybody thinks is of course the roots for themselves is empathize with themselves. That's what we have to be concerned with, ourselves, our needs, our families, our basic shit. It's hard to expect people to go all right, and what about what they think, and I think that's. I think it's a much more honest evaluation of people, and it allows for complexity and forgiveness and fucking all the shit that's sort of beautiful about.
See, like that? I don't know if that should knock the thing down.
Well, we're gonna be binary, good or bad, perfect or not, whatever, and any infraction then it's permanently stains you. It's
Right.
just
Right, there's what we were talking about earlier about people that have been canceled. That this idea that
That was a good
one
old-
thing
that was a good
you
old-
said or one thing you did.
That was huge
We're
old-
gonna exaggerate that to the fullest extent.
That was good
Cast
old-
you out of civilization.
Because they're all not dead.
It's fucking crazy. And it's,
yeah, I would because I bet some of those people would have preferred to go to jail.
Oh, we all died.
for
I
18 months.
should have guessed. I should guess that. I don't know why I pushed that.
That we can't. I paid my debt. We're done.
Yeah.
Can we be done? The thing about that, getting kind of excoriated publicly like that, it just never ends, and it's the first thing that, it just will follow you to the grave, I think.
It's also this problem that people have with people that are in the public eye. They have this desire to
Distinctive.
chop them down always. And anybody that stumbles in the public eye, they want to destroy their life. And they want to just pile on. And you're not there with them. You don't feel the empathy. You're not talking to. They're not a human being. It's just text on a screen.
Right.
Yeah, it's just kind of like you're saying, that kind of sixth grade instinct to be like, oh, he's in trouble. There's this, human, we have dark, fucked up instincts too sometimes to isolate people or get joy out of someone else's. They're in trouble because part of it's saying, hey, it's not.
Oh, I should have bubbled him. I didn't know he was that low.
Looking over there, we feel safer,
Right.
But it's and to take any forgiveness out of it, is a really fucked up thing, because then it makes it impossible, to actually go, all right, yeah, I did that. Fuck shit, that was wrong. I get it. You know, because it doesn't matter. Once you've said you've done it, you become like an outcast. And I don't think anybody wants to think, you know, like you're the sum total of who you are is your worst moment.
Right.
You know, it's sort of like.
Oh, I didn't realize I was that low, and I didn't realize everybody killed on me.
Capable of doing something good or something beautiful. It's not
Like
to
they
say
all
for
killed on
you,
me. That was
it's
actually
just
really good that I did that.
horrible shit done. I
Not
get it.
to
No
brag
one's
or
trying
anything,
to, like,
but
absolve that. But you
Not
remove
to,
the ability to sort of forgive people or look at them in the complicated.
yeah, that
Well,
was
it's
well.
kind
Never
of
mind, we all
one of
died.
things. It's
The
like,
guru got us.
let's get one of ours or one of them. The instinct to get like a team, tribal oriented, and it just becomes a sport. You know?
Yeah. It's also like, who wants to live in a world with no forgiveness and redemption?
Right.
That's
Ugh.
crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that's just denying the very nature of human beings. And that people do things that they regret, and then they become better people.
Like, look at that. He wasted all that just for me.
Yeah, that's
People
the
I
He
would
wasted his
rely on
ult
the
just for
most
me.
and
That was
trust my
crazy.
kids with the most have done shit that they really regret, and you know was objectively wrong. And people have been like,
What
oh,
is
shit, I
going
did
on,
that, I
bro?
fucking, whether it's like addiction.
We
I
could
got
slowly
myself
beat these
down,
guys.
I did this. They're able to go, I did it. I'm sorry. It's real. I shouldn't have done it. It was wrong. Those people can become someone that's very trustworthy.
Yeah.
Because you're like, this motherfucker will say, if they've done something, they'll actually look at their own behavior. They'll acknowledge it, and then you feel good, and you feel much versus someone who tells you like, I always get it right. Everything's perfect.
Well, yeah, it's about evolution, right? And in our own personal evolution, and we're all on our own path towards that. Like the idea of attacking someone, it's like, oh, so you aced the test? Like, put your
Right.
pencil down? Like, you nailed being human?
Exactly.
You're done.
Well,
Like,
yeah, if you did nail
congratulations.
being human, that's not possible because you forgot about the part about forgiveness,
Yeah,
which is
right.
a giant
You
part of
haven't
being
nailed it
human.
by
Right.
definition. If you're out there
right.
throwing stones.
It's
you know.
most
Let's
of the people
go.
that I find, especially when there's someone that's publicly in trouble for something. Most of the people that I know that have attacked people have a lot of questionable shit in their past, and it's almost like they're trying to hide that by going on the attack.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if I can point my finger, it's like no one's gonna be.
Yeah. Oh, he's a good guy. Ben's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's calling them out.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
It's-
but meanwhile,
right.
you know,
And yeah, if you like, yeah, it's like you tell me to see Wake Up Dead Man, the third Knives
yeah,
Out
yeah.
movie.
Oh, it's great.
And I
Yeah,
watched.
it's
I really
great.
liked it. I thought it was a really interesting, like, you know, I'm not a religious guy. I don't like that's, you know, and yeah, I'm aware of all the like, okay, you know, there's the religion, then there's people who.
Could've waited, I should've saved
It
it.
was a really beautiful movie about like what's the role of grace. You know, and a really honest
I tried.
examination
I
of,
tried.
like, sitting
I bubbled.
side by side with okay, you don't believe it, but like you know, saying it's not about like whether you're gonna argue over fucking evolution. It's about like how graceful are you in your life? You know, how much fucking dignity can you afford other people? And are you willing to recognize and see that there's maybe something bigger than yourself, and that there's a reason to try to sort of be. To find that grace, to get better, you know. I thought it was really beautiful and kind of rare, and really surprised.
I was really surprised too. I kind of put it on and not thinking.
Yeah, I thought it was
I'd
gonna be a
like
murder
I
mystery
mean,
thing,
yeah,
yeah.
I loved it. Yeah.
yeah, I loved it too. I think it's one of the best of the three. It's
Yeah, it's my
Yeah,
favorite,
it was my favorite of it.
those are great. Daniel Craig is great in that role.
He's fantastic.
He's
Yeah,
fucking-
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah.
guy goes from James Bond to that,
Yeah.
and so many other things as well.
So is
Brian
Josh
Johnson, who wrote
Josh
really
O'Connor
good.
that who played the priest. Because I first saw him on The Crown.
Crown. Yeah, I
He
liked
played
him a lot.
Prince Charles. Fucking man.
Do we have a healer over right now? Like, what? How are we not dying?
How much film do you guys consume? Do you spend a lot of time watching films? I mean, do
Well,
you,
with the
do you
company,
consider
like,
it?
Depends, you know.
there's a lot. Like if we're working, as we're watching cuts after cuts and going to the editing room. Like there's a lot of kind of work around all the stuff that we have going that eats into a lot of time.
I'm mostly just trying to keep up with what people are doing. My issue is really that, like, we've kind of developed this pattern where all these sort of movies that come out are more interesting and very
We're
like
at
they're all
30,000
jammed out in
damage.
the last fucking month of the year, and so all of a sudden you're trying to race.
You got
through all
homework.
these movies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
Right.
like-
I got really lucky. Like recently, my son, you know, who's 13, decided he wants to like watch movies, you know, and I like give him shit. I'm like, what are you fucking? We always looking at TikTok and shit. Like, let's watch a movie, and you know, he's kind of blowing me off and rolling his eyes, and he's like, you know, I mean, if you're a dad, you're kind of an asshole fundamentally. Like, come on, Dad,
Right.
you don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? Like he told me one time, he was like, Dad, I said, let's watch this movie. And I played him the trailer. It was I can't remember what the movie was. It was a good movie, and the trailer was good. he just looks at it and goes, you know what you guys ought to do? You guys ought to work with some of the TikTok editors. It's just like, wow.
Oh, no.
Well, I went and told the editors. I told Billy and Chris back there. I was like, guys, I got news for you. You guys got to. But now he's like, all right, let's watch. Like, what are some movies I should watch? You got Letterboxd. You got into that thing. You know, it's like, so I said, okay, what are the great movies? I'll give you a list. I start giving him a list. They started watching them, and so I mean, this is like heaven for me. So it's like, okay, what are you watching? King of Comedy. Like last week, I watched Taxi Driver, King of all these Scorsese movies. And it really was like, oh man, I because in my mind, I'm like, sure, I've seen that movie. I know it. Watched them again. It was like seeing it. I realized how much better they were than I even could appreciate when I watched it when I was younger. Yeah. And it was just the most beautiful fucking experience for me to watch my son like taking an interest in it. This is the older two have always been a little bit like, yeah, Dad, no, great.
Golly, dude.
No, not really.
We got everybody on this.
Guess what? Come to the set. No, I'm good. You know. And
Well, it's just.
I'll admit this thing is really good on their team.
As a movie star, just like.
The kids got to, and I get it. You got to be your own person, do your thing. They have
Sure.
all their own shit, and I get, I never expected it from my son, and I don't know that he's gonna, and I wouldn't want to lean on him like, hey, get into the family business. Most of the time, it's just like, we go to like basketball games, baseball, all that type of stuff, and but this was that was like, I was like so joyful. You know what I mean? To sit there and watch the movies with my kid. I was like, this doesn't get better. This is the happiest I may ever be in my whole life. Right here, watch this movie, and he's like, well, he's telling me what he thinks. Just like honestly, the rest of it, you can fucking keep it.
That's awesome.
That's the best.
Well, it's great that you guys still love film. That it hasn't become just a job. It hasn't become a thing that you do. That you really enjoy it and love it.
Yeah, it was never a job. I mean, it really it was like an absolute dream from the time we were kids. We did fucking high school theater together, like.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
It was like we're lucky.
I hate Bucky, dude. He shouldn't be able to do this.
The goal was like to make a living.
He shouldn't be able to do it. Period. Like it's so annoying. Hulk. If they want to make Hulk meta, Guang Guang, hear me out. Just make Hulk logical.
Okay, we can make a living, or it's
Make his playstyle logical, right? You're a giant green hulking, literally basically came up with the definition of Hulk.
I love when people love that. I spend
green
time on YouTube watching people like
Groot.
Fix
Let him be that.
I don't know why, but I love when people make
dude.
furniture. I love watching people do things that they really love, that they're invested in. I think we all have that thing in us where we see someone who's got a passion for something, someone who really loves it, and that's what everybody really wants in life, to be lost in the thing you love, to have a purpose.
Yeah. And it's beautiful.
Yeah, and even watching someone else with true purpose.
Very.
It's hypnotic. It reminds me of Joe versus the Volcano. He goes in to buy
God.
luggage.
It's
Do
one of
you
our
like
favorite
luggage,
scenes
sir? He's like, he goes, luggage is the central preoccupation of my life. Guy's a luggage salesman, and he fucking loves
He loves
bags.
nothing more than luggage.
And by the way, I was like, okay,
and
that's
it's the
the guy I'm
greatest
going
scene.
to.
I asked Tom Hanks about that when I did Saving Private Ryan. I was like, can you tell me about that scene? Because we love this scene so much. And
Just to kind of get everybody discombobulated and off my team.
For like one day in this
Gosh, I hate Bucky. I hate Bucky with a passion. I just can't explain it, Guang
Tom
Guang.
Hanks has unlimited money to
Please,
spend. He thinks he's
please,
dying,
please.
So he basically goes like, well, what's the best luggage? And he goes,
It just ruins Hulk, man. It ruins Hulk.
Sir. And he opens up this thing, and there's this trunk.
I'm
and
sorry,
it's like
Guang
this
Guang. I didn't mean
music
to
place, and he
get so
opens it, and
dense.
Tom Hanks is like,
And I know it's not just Guang Guang.
and he goes, may you live to be 1,000.
It's just, man, that's so annoying.
This is the
I
greatest
can't
day of
play. I can't play my character because this guy is
That's amazing. You guys have been
Just-
fucking bangers, man. Saving Private Ryan, that opening film, the storming of the beach,
Unbelievable.
that might be the most realistic depiction of war that's ever been made.
So I remember reading the script, and there was all this dialogue, all this stuff.
like, look at this, dude. And he's doing it. He knows what he's doing. It's not like he's dumb. Golly, bro. We have no DPS ults. We have nothing. There we go. That was huge.
With them on the boat coming in, and Steven goes, he just goes, I cut all of that out. He goes, no talking for the first 27 minutes of this movie. Whoa. And that was when I was like, oh my God, this movie is gonna be fucking amazing.
That
I think Tom says like, "I'll see you on the beach" or something. He screams, you know, guys are
Oh,
puking.
look at the man next to you.
Yeah, remember
He's not gonna live to it.
That was the script, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
It was look at the man next to you. He won't live. You know,
He's gonna die,
You're
yeah.
like 2 out of 3 of you are gonna die. So look to your left, look to your right, and feel bad for those 2 sons of bitches because they're not gonna make it. You know, it was stuff like that. And Steve was just like, nope. No, no. These guys are puking. It's like the thing's up. You can just hear tick, 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 tick. You know, and it's just like, and then just boom, and you're into it. And also, they did this incredible, like cinema changing. Yeah,
Open the shutter
all
took
the
away
way.
The motion
Yeah,
blur. It skipped the bleach process in developing the film.
I don't,
Created that look.
and I don't know if they're going to 22 or 23 frames anywhere in there, maybe. But I just remember, maybe it's just the open shutters, just. Pop, 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 pop.
But when you
remember
shutter,
that,
yeah, but it just means that instead of like the motion blur is what makes something that like moves across the frame quickly. If you look at each frame, it's like a blurred thing, and when you roll those at 24 frames, it gives you the illusion that it moves across fluidly. And if you basically open the shutter up so you get much more light, each frame takes a super sharp picture, and when you run those together, like the piece of dust goes.
And so the mortar explosions are going like, tick, 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 and you get that feeling that you're adrenalized and you're seeing, you know what I mean? And it's just, and nobody had ever done it.
He's
And
just the master of the thing.
Yeah.
He understood how to use the tools and combine with a great idea. And that's just masterful. Like, that's just how you do it. There's nobody who directs movies who doesn't go, this is good. You know?
Yeah.
Like, bro, he just ruins it. I can't dive. I can't
Like you said,
do jack diddly with this
and also
clown in the back.
caring about something, you know, it's
Like, dude, it's Bucky Barnes, bro.
is kind of connected to greatness.
It's not Captain America.
That's, I think, why we
Let's just be honest here.
see that, whether, you know,
No super soldier serum. Just a crazy special arm. That's about it.
whatever it is, there's something that makes you kind of love being alive and also love that person when you go, fuck, like when you see Michael Jordan, like that was that whole movie that we did, Airs, really all about like what does it mean to be great and how does it like touch everybody and change everybody and make people want to fucking improve their own lives because somebody's just better at that thing than anybody else in the world.
Yeah.
It's transfixing, you know. I mean, I find that really
Hey, Bucky.
You know, people who are
I can't play the game. Dude, nerf his thing.
What is that like, and what does that do to your life, and how did you get that way, and what does it take, you know?
And what's the cost? Because to truly be great at something, you have to kind of almost abandon everything.
I've seen that in various ways, like in that kind of just empirical personal study. I haven't seen anybody who I think like qualifies for that who didn't also seem to be really suffering.
100%.
You know, and you're like, damn, you should be so happy. You're the greatest. And you know, interviewers always go, how do you feel right now? And there's that sense that like either it's never finished or it's never enough or they can't enjoy it or they're carried. It's a line we put in air where it's like, and you have to be that
you
thing.
have to be that thing.
You know, like it's a kind of a burden too, in a way.
100%.
And I just see that, and that's why we want these heroes and people who are great to, I don't know, you know, flourish, have their life.
We gotta defend. We gotta have a healer roll. We gotta have something, bro.
Stuff that happens too.
But we're not gonna win this. We don't have a healer roll.
Yeah,
I don't know where.
There seems to be a real cost.
Well, there's always a massive cost in personal relationships because there's no way you have the time for other
Yeah.
things. And the obsession that you have to be the
That's
best
a
at
good one.
something, you have to abandon almost all your concern for everything else. You have to have this single-minded focus. And that comes with a cost for the rest of your life because you damage relationships, you feel like a piece of shit.
And you see that up close, and like that's not admirable.
Right.
Yeah, you don't give a fuck about anybody else. No, I do. I just care about this more.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, so imagine that you're making the sacrifices and it's causing injury to people, and you know it, and you don't want to hurt them, but you can't help it, and you're getting rewarded for it. You know, it's complicated. Yeah,
It's crazy because you inspire all these people that don't know you, and you ruin all your relationships.
Right. That's right.
Maybe that's why I say don't meet your heroes.
Yeah, exactly.
There's something to it, man. There really is. But it's just, we all grow from it. There's a fuel to watching greatness. There's a thing that hits you and lights you up.
Yeah.
Where you want to do more, you want to be better, you want to, whatever it is that you can do, whatever it is
All
you
right.
do.
No one really
you
showed
do
up for
more,
the stream,
whether it's a
so
great
I think I'm
game,
going
a winning
to
touchdown,
end it.
whether it's a great film.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for tuning in. If you did tune in past the stream date, I really appreciate it. I'll probably take some of this and put it in some YouTube videos. Probably do that. Anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. I love y'all. Catch you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.